Today on Camp Outside, we take a look at the primitive campground at Goose Creek State Park near Washington, North Carolina. Check it out. Hey guys, I'm Kevin with Camp Outside, your inside source for all things outside. Well, if you saw my other video, we had an amazing time at Goose Creek State Park in Washington, North Carolina. It's a beautiful part of North Carolina. We enjoyed our time on the Pamlico River and just hiking and exploring. We took pontoon fish, our pontoon boat, but unfortunately we were having some boat trouble, so we weren't able to do much fishing, but we did have a great time. To see our park overview video, click here, or I'll put a link down in the description below. We also did a overview of the RV campground at Goose Creek State Park, and I'll put a link to that right here or down in the description below. And on today's video, we are going to do an overview of the primitive campground at Goose Creek State Park. Check it out. Goose Creek State Park is located just east of Greenville, North Carolina, in the town of Washington. It's easily accessed by Raleigh-Durham, Norfolk or Virginia Beach, or Wilmington, North Carolina. It's right on the Pamlico River. Here's the map of Goose Creek State Park. As you can see, it's a large park with plenty to see and do. There's lots of hiking trails. There's access to the Goose Creek as well as the Pamlico River, and two fantastic campgrounds. The campground we're going to take a look at in this video is the primitive campground, and it's indicated by the red arrow. This is the map of the primitive campground. As you can see, it's a single road in and out, and it has 14 sites and a couple of restrooms, access to fresh water, and some hiking trails around the campground. So the entrance to the campground is marked with a sign, and there's a parking lot just outside of this sign that's used as a trailhead for hikers. And I thought it was really cool that this campground is in a longleaf pine restoration area. Let's take a look at an example campsite. So this is site 14 in the primitive campground. And I thought site 14 was a good example of what these sites look like. They're pretty spread out from each other, so you don't have a lot of interference with your neighbors. I really liked site 14 because it was on the water and it was right next to the fishing dock, which I'm going to show you in a little bit. And it's on the loop at the end. It's the last campsite. So as primitive sites, they don't have water or electric hookup. There's obviously no sewer hookup. You can't even have a trailer in this part of the campground, and when I show you the drive-in, you'll see why. The road is really narrow. It would be really hard to get a trailer in there. Anything but a pop-up probably wouldn't fit. But this site is equipped with a fire pit with a grill grate, a charcoal grill, and a picnic table. It also has a hook to hang a lantern or some other kind of gear, and it does have a nice tent pad on it as well. I really like these primitive sites, and if I didn't need electricity, I would have definitely stayed in this campground. Now let's take a look at the restroom facilities in the campground. So the first restroom I want to show you is towards the end of the campground, and it's indicated by the red arrow. This restroom is elevated, so it is not very handicap friendly. And it is a pit toilet, so there's a running water spigot on the outside, as you see there. And then this is what it looks like on the inside. So no running water, it is a pit toilet. There's hand sanitizer and toilet paper in the restroom though, so that's nice. The second facility is towards the beginning of the campground. And it is elevated as well, but it does have a handicap accessible ramp, which is nice. Again, no running water in the restroom itself. There's a water spigot just outside. I didn't take a picture of the inside of this one. It looks just like the other one. There's also a building that sells firewood for $5 a bundle. And at both sites, there are trash and recycling receptacles. And there's one right there. Next, we're going to take a driving tour of the campground. Check it out. So we are entering the campground. To the left there was a parking lot for the trailhead. So as we make our way in, you're going to pass site number 1 on the right. And this is a one-way road, so if you have traffic, you'll have to pull over and let somebody go by on occasion. And as you can see, as we squeak the Kemp bus in here, you can see it gets pretty narrow. That's site 2 on the right. There's a water spigot to the left there for access to fresh water. And on the left is campsite number 3. As you can see, these sites are pretty widespread. Gives you some great privacy and some solitude. And that is campsite number 4 to the left. To the right is the restroom, Freshwater, and the firewood building. To the left there is the trash receptacle. Just past the restroom on the right is site 5. Coming up on site 6 to the left there. And site 7 will be on the right where those cars are parked and where that tent was pitched. That's site 8 to the left. And another freshwater spigot on the left there. Make our way farther in, that's going to be site 9 on the left. And as we approach the loop, that's site number 10 on the left. On the right are the restroom and the trash facilities, and then fresh water. This loop is interesting in that it goes to the left. So in the center of the loop is an amphitheater, which we're going to show you in a minute. Coming up on site 11 to the left there. And that's site 12, straight ahead of us. Site 13. And that's site 14 on the left. And gonna have to deal with a little bit of traffic management. That little trail to the right is a trail to the amphitheater that's in the center of the circle. And to the left there is the fishing dock, which we'll show you in a few minutes. As we continue to make our way around the circle, you can see the restroom to the left, freshwater spigot, and the trash receptacle. And there is trash and recycling. And now we're heading out. So that's Site 10 on the right. We're now passing Site 9. There's the freshwater spigot to your right. And as I make my way by this paddler here, that's Site 8 to the right. And then we'll pass Site 7 on the left. To the right there is a trail that takes you to the Flatty Creek Trail, which is a very short little trail to Flatty Creek. We're going to pass Site 6 on the right. And then to the left is Site 5. The building where you get your firewood, dumpster or trash facility on the right, restroom on the left, fresh water supply on the left. This is Site number 4 to the right. Site 3 to the right. There's another freshwater spigot. And then we have Site 2 to the left. Site 1 will be coming up on the left. Right there. And as we make our way out, I just want to remind you to view our overview video of Goose Creek State Park. I'll put a link down in the description below. And that's the primitive campground. Check out this fishing dock right there in the campground. So here is the fishing dock. Would also work to launch canoes or kayaks here if you brought them along. This is on Goose Creek. It's just an absolutely beautiful place to enjoy the scenery, to wet a line, to fish with the kids. We did see some people fishing here. I don't know if they caught anything. But you can't beat that view. Just gorgeous. Made me wish our boat was running. This campground also has a little group area where there's some amphitheater seating. Check it out. And the last thing we wanted to highlight is this amphitheater seating. This is in the center of the circle. And I always like things like this because I just imagine, scouts having events or things like that at places like this. Well, I hope you found that overview of the primitive campground at Goose Creek State Park useful. Like I said, we really enjoyed our time there, and we enjoyed exploring this part of the park. There are hiking trails right around the primitive campground, as well as that little dock that you can fish off of, which I thought was really neat place to sit and just take in the scenery and enjoy. There's also a little amphitheater there, which would be great for scout programs or those kinds of things. So that's neat to see. And I wish that we had stayed in this part of the campground. Unfortunately, we did need some electricity. So my wife and I own a graphic design and web marketing business, and so we work from the road, and so we just need electricity. So we need electric hookup. And also we had our boat with us, and it would have been pretty hard to get our boat in those sites, and I think they indeed said no trailers allowed. So we had to stay in the RV campground, which we really enjoyed, by the way. That was awesome. But this is a fantastic place. If you want to get out and get away, the sites are nice and spread out from each other. Plenty of room. If you want to get out and get away from the hustle and bustle of life, man, the primitive campground at Goose Creek is your kind of place. So definitely check it out. So guys, Camp Outside exists to help moms and dads take their kids camping, hiking, fishing, learn about nature, and develop a conservation ethic. We want to help you get your kids outside. So if there's anything that we can do for you, we would love to hear from you. If you have any questions about how to get your kids outside, maybe it's where to go or what gear you need or anything, guys, just drop something in the comments. We'd love to hear from you and help you. You can also reach out to us on our other social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter. All the links to those are down in the description below. You can definitely hit us a direct message there, and we'd love to hear from you as well. Camp Outside releases new videos every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday at 11 a.m. right here on YouTube. Our Monday and Tuesday videos are focused on campground and campsite reviews, and our Thursday videos are on a whole wide range of topics, including camping, hiking, fishing, gear reviews, tips and tricks, how-to videos, and more. So check that out. And guys, if you haven't seen it yet, I did a full-blown Thanksgiving dinner from the campsite at Goose Creek State Park. So if you haven't seen that video, check it out. I'm going to put a link right up here. So definitely check that out as well. And guys, we hope that this helps you plan your next trip to Goose Creek State Park. You should definitely go. We loved it and can't wait to go back. Guys, I'm Kevin with Kemp Outside, your inside source for all things outside. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.